We did go to Williams College, visit my son Luke for his 19th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Luke.
It was still cold there, too.
Deebo headed to D.C. San Fran sends Deebo to the Commanders for a fifth-round pick. 670 yards, 3 touchdowns last year in the air, around 140 and a touchdown on the ground. Both down from his 2023 campaign when he had 12 touchdowns. So, Coach, we'll start with you. Do you like this move for York? Are they still your Commanders? Because they were your Commanders last year. I don't know if you kind of wiped the slate cleans, but I'm calling them your Commanders.
I feel like everybody now is on the bandwagon, so it's going to be hard for them to be my Commanders.
Right.
But I do absolutely love this move. I think this is fantastic. And to me, this makes so much sense. We've got a young quarterback in a division with the Super Bowl champions, and you've got a little bit of an arms race, and you've got to do what you can to help support them. And I think with Washington's cap space, which is significant, they can make this move without too much problems. A fifth-round draft pick I don't think is unreasonable at all. And maybe Deebo's not exactly what he was. He doesn't return to total form. It's still a significant weapon, both as a receiver, and then he gives you the versatility to do whether you want to use him as a runner, whether you want to use him on gadget plays. He's an East Coast guy, grew up in South Carolina, so maybe being back home, closer to family, that could help him too. I think this will be the all-in type of offseason for Washington. That was what we saw Houston try to do last year, which makes total sense when you got a quarterback at this rate.
It does. They hope that their veteran, somewhat disgruntled receiver acquisition works out better than Houston's did with Diggs. Obviously, Stephon got hurt last year. He wasn't really having massive production pre-injury. I don't hate the move because I never hate a one-year move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but few beliefs of mine that I must stay true to. Don't love older wide receivers. Deebo Samuel's 29. And to me, his style is one that has not aged great up to this point. I don't love the fact that they have now traded away a third, fourth, fifth-round pick because they traded the third and the fourth for Marshawn Lattimore. That didn't work out last year. He was hurt most of the time, but they do at least have him for 2 more seasons. I also am curious to see how much he will thrive outside of the Shanahan offense. It is so low risk that I don't mind them doing it because they have more cap space than they can spend. And sometimes, and you can speak to this probably better than me, Coach, but you have all this cap space and you end up signing bad contracts because of it. Like you got to sign free agents. And so you don't want to do that. That's why I like the fact this is a 1-year deal. I am a little nervous that this team might maybe think it's a touch closer than it actually is. Because listen, they were in the NFC Championship game. I understand that. And they got beat in that game the way my team got beat in the Super Bowl. The Eagles were just rolling at that point in time. Give them credit. But so much of last year was these magical Jaden Daniels finishes.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's a second-place schedule instead of a last-place schedule. You don't sneak up on anybody. You maybe don't have quite those magical types of finishes. It just feels a little rushed. I understand why they're doing it because quarterback on the rookie scale, you want to try to win right now. I understand that entirely. I also just don't think he is, at this point, a massive difference-making player.
But to also have certainty in what it's going to cost you. So if they try to go out into free agency and get a wide receiver that may or may not perform like Deebo performs, you don't know what the market is going to be for those guys. You don't know whether you're going to get a guy. This gives them certainty in terms of an upgrade at wide receiver, in the room collectively. And then you also know what it's going to cost. So as you go into free agency, now your resources are allocated and you know what you can still continue to spend.
Dominoes in the NFC East, Coach. The Eagles are always trying to make moves. They're even in like the Myles Garrett sweepstakes, so we know that they're going to be super aggressive. Commanders just got Deebo. Do you think this puts any pressure on the Cowboys to make a move, considering Jerry's always like kind of competing with?
Yeah, but they can't. They don't have the resources. The difference between Washington and Dallas is Washington can legitimately go all in, especially in free agency with where their dollars are, where Dallas has no ability to really be aggressive in free agency at all. And they've got Micah Parsons looming. That's going to eat up a whole nother chunk of their money. So they're out of that mix, and then they should be able to to outspend and not only outspend, but also be way more enticing than someone who's thinking about going to the Giants.
Coach, what do you attribute his lack of production to? So, like, that's the it's easy for me to be like, well, he hasn't, he was better with Jimmy Garoppolo. But I think Brock Purdy is, for all my questions about Purdy, I think Purdy's a better player than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. So I'm not saying, the quarterback play got worse. It, to me, feels like, and this is my concern, he was used like a running back and therefore has aged like a running back. Like, what makes running backs' careers typically short is not their jersey number or what you call them on the roster, it's how they're used. And Deebo has taken such punishment, and they called him, like, his breakout season, they called him a wide back. Like, they even, it screwed up kind of their negotiations with him. It's one of the reasons he wanted to make sure he got paid early as he did. Like, I think there's legitimate concern that the game-breaking Deebo Samuel's not there as a player anymore.
Well, sometimes it can be multiple factors. So you get paid, and then there's this press to justify what you got paid, which actually works against you because you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Instead of realizing you're being paid for the player that you were, and you want to get all those same things. So there's that component without the threat of the running game that was missing in San Francisco and the passing game. Out of the backfield, I think that allows defenses to push coverage different places and take away different threats that they couldn't, in the past when they were healthy. That could be part of it. The contentiousness of the negotiation, there could be some hurt feelings there. Sometimes players, especially if they're on, a shorter term contract or want to chase more money, when the season starts going south, instead of them digging in because they don't think they're going to be there long term, they go the other way and take a step back.
Washington's going to hope that he looks at this as a prove-it year because it's, you know what I mean, it's his final year before free agency, and he's going to try to get paid one more time. I just wonder if he got beat up too much in San Francisco.
I think he's going to be good.
I think he's going to be good too.
I think he's going to be really good.
And I think he's going to be good with Jaden too, because Jaden's a different package than Brock is.
Sure. They're both great though.
Yeah.
Okay. 49ers side of things. Purdy loses a weapon on the heels of a season where San Fran won only 6 games. Nick, you pitched this odd question in the meeting because you said you believe in this guy and his flat brim hat so much. Is there a chance that the 49ers missed their window?
Oh, yeah, with this group, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Trent Williams probably has, they hope, one more excellent year left. He's already, pushing the boundaries of the modern tackle for how long you can be first-team All-Pro caliber guy. Christian McCaffrey, I think it's a bonus if you get another great year from him. Just because of what his career's been, great when he's healthy, but injury's been a problem, and it's that position. I don't know what Brandon Ayuk's future is. Rap Sheet had the report that they were thinking about trading him as well. Yeah. The owner has come, or John Lynch has come out and said, I think on behalf of the owner, hey, we have been top 3 in cash spending a bunch of years in a row now. Might be a bit of a time to reset. No, yeah, by the way, you're going to have to pay your quarterback, go from $1 million to whatever, 45, 55, 60, whatever that number is. It's a massive raise. So I do think they have a great coach. I think that the jury is still out on their quarterback, but other people think he's awesome. Yeah. So great coach, potentially very good quarterback. You are going to, the window will reopen, but I don't look at them as the favorites in their division anymore, Coach, not now that the Rams got Stafford locked down. And I think they have real questions on both sides of the ball.
Yes, I see it differently. I don't think the window's closing at all. And maybe they get rid of Ayuk, maybe they don't, but let's say they do. I thought Juwan Jennings played really well. I thought they drafted Pearsall in the first round because they believed in him, and then he came on later in the season. Obviously, what happened to him early in the season, you're not getting a real picture of who the complete player is. And then on offense, they've got one player that's a free agent, one starter, it's a guard. They have 4 on defense that are free agents that were listed as starters, but 2 of them barely played any last season. So they've got 2 guys they really need to address in the secondary. They've got a ton of draft picks. They've got a significant amount of money. And if they get those guys playing, if they're healthy, let's assume that they're healthy, which is what they weren't last year, why can't they be back in the mix? And let me just add one other point, is they got Robert Saleh back.
I do think that helps.
I don't think it's a Vic Fangio, the same effect as Vic, but this is a guy who had a great defense there and now has the benefit of head coaching experience. To me, that's extremely valuable to have that piece back in place.
So, Wilds, I don't know if you remember, it was like, might have been 2 off seasons ago, but the Niners, it might have been when they signed Hargrave. I'm not sure. They made a move, and you were like, I don't understand the salary cap.
Yeah, it wasn't Hargrave. It was somebody.
It was somebody, and you were like, I don't understand.
How do they keep signing them?
They sign everybody. And the answer is they did what the Eagles are currently doing, which is we think we have an opportunity to win at a super high level right now, so we're going to backload a lot of these deals, add void years to these deals, whatever it is.